I can't see color running through your veins, and I can't breathe.
Big ups, mom. She used to teach me sometimes. Yeah. So I think also an interest for computer science came at that stage.
Okay.
But now my main focus was to go into telecommunications. Fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't meet the university requirements to do telecommunications, so I had to start somewhere. So the somewhere that I needed to start from was to do a degree in computer science. So then after that, and I got a job. So the reason I got a job is we used to have what we call career fairs in the university, where we had big companies come to universities to see what the university students have developed, or what they're thinking, or at that time. So by the time I was picked up, I had like 8 applications up and running, full applications that could be implemented directly into the market. But the biggest one was an integrated hospital management system that I built. I'm still working on it, but it was sort of like almost 90% complete. So I got handpicked by one of these organizations, and they told me, you guys can be able to do, if you're able to do this.
So you were presenting to them. Then
we're presenting
they
to them
noted.
the solutions. Yeah, then I was picked up from there. So then this has opened up the doors for me now to go into full-time employment. So I started out.
Imagine first year you were employed. Hii town mungenijua. Yeah, so you went from that again.
So I grew up from there.
So you are doing 3 things. You are working,
I was schooling.
you're schooling, and you're doing this apps thing on the side.
No, apps thing wasn't that.
You're not
much.
creating
I had,
apps.
I was creating applications. But now my basic or my mode of advertisement was get to meet somebody. I remember I used to approach people with hardwares, electrical shops, movie shops, and I told them I can be able to create sort of like, for example, movies. You'll be able to create a catalog for movies that you have. It'll give you the sales, it'll give you how many series you produce, how many DVDs you bought, what is the consumption. So it's sort of like an inventory system
where you can manage your activity in one software.
Yeah, in one software. The other one is now for people with hardware, stores, and these things that you have to store a lot of things, and sometimes it is very hard for you to account for.
Shop, where's it's like a supermarket management system.
Yeah.
You know what product came in, what went out, at what price,
it sold, and such a thing. So those are the challenges I was looking into, and now getting a solution for these people.
So you want to tell people you can, because normally if you ask me, let's talk about jobs in Kenya. Yes, hakuna majob. There are no jobs. It's by grace that people get to work sometimes in a good job. But do you think sometimes we are very comfortable as young people? Do you think as zingine we are not pushing ourselves? You have nothing to sell? Because if you ask me right now, if you're good at something, you still want to look for someone to help you get a job when you can think of something that you can go and negotiate with to your employer. Where is the balance? Where is the balance between lack of jobs, being able to push it for yourself, and doing it?
So with the current trends, let's say around 20 years now. For the last 20 years, we have a crazy work curve that statistics have shown, whereby we have people who already attained the age of 55, which was then the retirement age, still holding job opportunity or holding spaces within organizations. We understand that comes with the aspect of experience. It comes with the aspect of this is a better teacher in terms of now teaching.
They are the ones that are on the way coming.
And it also sort of like puts control in terms of now younger people get to see that they have senior people taking up these positions. But now we've already moved out from there, and we have very young people taking up really corporate positions within the society.
Because I think right now we are not into young people. There's so much in corporate. Have you ever been in a situation whereby umeulizwa nitafutie mtu anajua kufanya hii kitu, and it is so difficult for you to find that person.
It has so many times.
So many times, because you can get someone telling you nataka msee anajua kufanya hivi kitu. You go to your people, you tell them unaweza fanya hivi, then there's nothing big. As in, people want just jobs for the sake of it.
I think also with my interactions within the education infrastructure or the environment, I think we should tailor make our education to, I wouldn't say China, but I'm giving China as an example in terms of the way they've implemented the education system. We have what we call specialties. You see, back in our days in high school, you do 12 subjects from Form 1 to Form 2, then drop 4 or 5 when you're going into Form 3. Those are 2 years you've wasted spending on something that you're going to drop.
Yeah, and it is not going to reflect in your
it's not going
result.
it's not going to reflect in
If
your
you
result.
at the end of it all.
Yeah. So there's an aspect of that. Then there's 2 talents. It's in people who've grown up and made it in life with the use of talent. There's another aspect. Most of us are sitting on our talents.
Sana.
Just to say, most of us are sitting on our talents, and that talent comes with opportunity, comes with availability of resources, and comes with how we want to be received by the society, people closest.
But do you think, if you ask me, from my opinion, I think there's more to do with depending on other people and not yours. Why would you go to school for 12 years, add another 5 in campus or 4, only to come and ask someone to go and look for a job for you? Don't you think it's enough that your parents have already invested? The skill is in you. You're selling your skill.
That is something most people and most youth don't realize. That you already have a platform where you've been given enough time to learn, relearn, learn and relearn, so that you can identify the kind of person you want to become.
You want to be,
But that one has a catch. Most of our parents believe there are children, and me as a parent now, I still believe that my child can be so and so in the future. You see, so I will also try my best, as much as I now know that there's an aspect of me as a parent streamlining my child into a certain path, or letting my child grow up and be able to choose for him or herself.
It's a script you're supposed to follow. So you're supposed to finish campus, get a job, and retire in that job, being old. That's a boring life. Someone should be able to do something that excites them.
Then we should also not chase after office or blue collar, job or white collar jobs. We shouldn't be pushing for that. We have very good blue collar jobs like in agriculture.
Right now, there's tech. Farming. People can create a tech and be rich for the rest of their life. So your story came in now. You're in Kenya. How did you end up? You told me you've gone to States, you've gone to Africa, Ethiopia, you've gone to Sri Lanka. These are continents you don't wake up and just get yourself there. Now, these are not like lifetime things. Ni one time, kidogo you come. You know?
So at the employer that I joined, they had different projects running across the globe. I'll mention just a few, but during my first 4 years, I got to travel, I think, around 18 countries, and this is just to provide the little expertise that I had.
This is your skill selling.
This is my skill selling.
Not family connections.
Not family connections.
Nothing.
No nothing.
That is why I started this channel. You looking at me right there. Why are you sitting on that skill? Because if it can take you to a country, people say, I need job too na skuma nimepata. You can. I find people settling for something less because they fear the space out here. They don't know their employers can do more for them, give you air tickets, pay for your vacation, being extra with you because of your skill. So unajifunga. Let yourself, hata kama itakuwa ngumu kidogo, it will work out somehow,
Definitely.
So you are in Sri Lanka, umeenda Sri Lanka,
so
18 countries. Which one are these countries roughly?
So I started out in Sri Lanka. Then went to Ethiopia. So in Africa, I've worked for 12, 13 countries. That is besides Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone, Malawi, Somalia. Been to Egypt several times. Been to DRC. Been to Lesotho.
To name
South
but a
Africa.
few
Just
kadhaa.
name a few. Yeah. Asia, been to Sri Lanka, been to Malaysia, and I've been to Singapore. Europe, I've been to the UK, I've been to Finland, I've been to Ireland, got some jobs. I've been to the States. I missed out a chance to go to Canada. I think I'll have completed the whole continent. I missed out a chance. I worked part of it in Jordan. I've been to Pakistan. I've been to Afghanistan, the center of war.
Hey, Afghan. How?
Yeah.
So tell me about what's the culture.
There's a lot of
What's the feeling? Let's start from the positive. As in, you're planning, taking your first flight to a new place. How does it feel? Does it have this? The dream is coming. Are you scared? Are you?
definitely for me, there's that aspect of the dream coming true. You know, working as an expatriate, providing that technical solution, technical knowledge, technical skill that you have to somebody else outside of your home country. To me, that was quite an achievement for myself.
Yeah, as in,
Then
it's like
you know,
a
getting
dream.
to travel, as you mentioned, all bills taken care of by the organization. You're hosted somewhere. You're treated as an expert.
And it is the
It's bringing-
skill, not
it is-
even your name.
Not
Nobody
my
wants
name,
to know.
Nobody
It's
wants
the
to know
skill.
who you are. What are you bringing on the table? What different are you going to, or what kind of different solution are you going to bring on the table that we don't know
How are you going
What
to
tricks
push
are
the
you going to
organization
push?
forward
Yeah.
through your skill?
through
You
the
know?
skills? Yeah. So I think that is what has opened up a lot of doors for me.
So right now we can have your CV here. Not when I become president, tunakupea ICT. You know, being president in Kenya doesn't have. You don't have to travel. You have to just be a kingpin of a tribe.
Not
You become
necessarily.
a tribe-
I think
a tribe
we're going
kingpin.
way beyond tribe now.
Ah,
We're going way
but
beyond
it
tribe
comes, it boils down to that. If
De-
I'm not
definitely.
accepted Pale Rift Valley, there is no day I'm going to be a president in this country. Because another person from Western cannot come and vote for me. I have to build first my.
I hope you've realized that waves are changing as much as.
Yeah, the conversation can change after this one, but it's just the same thing. The more they change, the more they look the same.
Definitely.
Yeah, but so there was culture. Culture. You were talking about culture.
Yeah.
We've
So
had
there's
that, yeah.
there's different cultures. Arab countries.
Yeah, let me just ask a very weird question. You're in a new country. Me sahi unipeleka a new country.
Yeah.
I'd be curious about those. As in, you see the way we go to first year, and you're curious about campus, ladies, and all that.
Yeah.
I know right now we cannot have that. As in, for me, let me just say it's me and my friends in diaspora probably. How do you react to these new friends, new people? Do you start liking each other? Do you, as in, on a normal social friendship cycle?
Okay. The normal is one you have to achieve what has taken you there.
That's, of course, the goal is there.
That is the main goal. Number two, as now you're interacting with the people or the organization that has taken you there, there are definitely people you've made contacts outside there in terms of now if they are working from the respective countries they are in. You build that close relationship, a social life, an open social life, whereby you can talk about anything and everything, despite the agenda of work that is there.
Yeah.
Number two, as you're traveling outside, there's the aspect of benchmarking and cultural, we call it cultural exchange, where you want to experience the kind of culture that they have, wherever they are.
The dating cycles that people curious about you.
There's things that are normal across, just that we are experiencing different languages. Or different,
But the dating and
everything
Kujuana,
is the same.
exchanging
Kujuana
social,
is the same. Social is the
just
same.
Yeah.
You go out, clubbing, people are there, drinking, dancing, and all that stuff. You find people in the park, different activities. We have running here, we have running there. It depends.
Yeah, so it's just the same.
So it's also the setup where you're going to be placed in or where you're going to land in. That's not gonna sort of like this open an avenue for social life around. the people we're going to be with. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair enough. That's fair enough. And now you come back. You told me something about as much as you'd want to work there, you can never replace what we have here in Kenya. The love, the way of living, the same culture that we're talking about. Why would you people are always in the mind of nikipata tu chance mimi naishia and you will never see me.
Okay, it depends on so many things, but from my point of view, it comes down to around 3 or 4. One is where you go. For example, African countries is not that bad; you still feel at home, but there's an aspect of the language barrier. You go to probably francophone countries where they speak purely French or there's their native language, and you go in there with your English and Kiswahili and you probably Shenya Mtaa, but nobody knows there. So there's an aspect of that. Then we've had this stereotype for a long time about black people or people with black skin.
Yeah, the racism. But it's sad to say, right? Racism can never die.
Yeah.
To be honest,
it can never die, but countries have done a lot in terms of ensuring
trying to fight
anyone who's coming outside of their country is able to be accommodated smoothly into the society, and there's no that aspect. But there are places where you'll go, you'll be racially profiled.
But there's still work to be done.
There's still work to be done. That is a sad thing about that.
Okay.
Then I don't know how this has gone far, but I think I've experienced this in around 4 countries. You being Kenyan, I'm putting in quotes. You being Kenyan, I think Kenyans have proven to be very aggressive, very outgoing, in terms of that you just fit in. I was in Finland and I went to the local market where they sell clothes and stuff. I just wanted to get some things for the kids. And as I was going through the clothes, some guy approached me, said, hi, how are you? Fine, I'm fine. I said, I'm okay. Come I show you where Kenyans shop. So I was shocked.
How do you know I'm Kenyan?
How do you know I'm Kenyan? Then, we ended up interacting. He's a guy who comes from Nyeri.
Ni mtutu hapa.
So there's that. I think we've marketed ourselves in terms of we're easily identifiable by people outside. And then if you go outside, you find Kenyans. They put on.
Yeah, it's a tag.
Yeah,
it's more like a tag.
It's more like a tag that identifies you as a Kenyan.
It identifies you. And it feels for us Kalenjin, zamani when you would come to Nairobi na usikie Mkale
akuisha.
It used to be so nice. But squeezing, unafuata ni Mkale lakini una nguvu ya kumsalimia. Sasa it just become so many. Utashinda mkiombana namba mpaka lini because it's all over. Everybody is just there, Because Nairobi used to be a very strange and a new place for us. So let's talk about your social life kidogo and the social. So you pursued rugby. You played rugby in Cheptenya, I remember.
Yeah, I used to play rugby.
Then you extended the rugby thing up to Baadaye.
Yeah,
after campus.
I played kidogo in campus and until I had an injury. Kongoti. That I hung up my boots. I used to play as a scrummer and back.
For the love of the game.
For the love of the game. When rugby was rugby.
The rugby was crazy. But it was turned into drinking sprees and
not really.
People would go to Prince Lou here, game in Asia, and you've not even watched anything.
But you see, that was the culture for rugby.
No, but it spoiled it, I think the sport part, the sponsorship probably was pulled out.
The sponsorship, to me, I'll blame it on 3 things. One, management of the sport.
Yeah, because if you're coming to have people having social lives, you can't really focus. It was more, ilibadilisha ikuwe sherehe sasa kuliko the game now. Yep. It would have been the game lovers wakue huko, but sherehe pia wasotiwe tu mambo yao hapo.
But you always separate booze and rugby. It's not like football.
But before you sell that booze in that playground, you make sure the players are okay first. Give them a motivation to compete for, and these other ones will just come.
Those good sponsorship. I think rugby, we've outshined ourselves. in so many. Athletics still stands out as a topmost.
Yeah, but rugby was really coming.
Rugby was
really
We had
coming.
very good management by then.
I love, women used to love you guys because mamwili huku mavifua tu ndio mumetujazia hapa. But anyway, you outgrew that after the injury.
Yeah, I
now
grew
it's
that after
something
the
that I want to
injury.
talk about. You had a scare or you had a situation that probably changed your life.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a conversation we have, but let's just talk of the basics. When we say God loves us, we miss the points as ingine, because most of us, including me, I have my stories. He has his story. Another person has his stories.
Yeah.
God is such a person mwenye yuokolea wase sana. And I would wish if you can touch about it. What happened? As in, you were telling me something about one all of a sudden something changed. You were down for several months. And here you are. Let's thank God for you first.
Yeah, I really thank God for my health.
Mhm.
And it's been a journey that had crazy ups and downs. I've experienced a lot of rejection. I experienced a lot of hatred. I experienced a lot of segregation, even within the family environment. And despite all that, I've had honorable people. I've had the chance to meet people who had categorized themselves as heartless, and people who went out of their way to make sure that I am the person I am today. Shout out to my mom, shout out to my dad, shout out to my girls and my boys. They really held on, the spirit for me to keep fighting for them to what I am today. So just to give a snapshot of really what happened. So this is the normal working. I actually got this way back when I was still in Sri Lanka. So I used to have fevers and crazy sore throats and stuff. Then different visits to hospitals. You get to be treated for throat infection. You get to be treated for cold, some crazy infections in the mouth. At that time, but I didn't realize this was disaster that was awaiting to happen. So I come back to Kenya and just a normal day-to-day activities. So my voice will disappear for 2, 3, 4 days. After that, my voice will come back again. I'll be able to speak. After some time, it will disappear again. So we had to resort back to medication and the normal concoctions that you make in the house, like
And they are all man.
asali, but it will on and off. So there's this day, and shout out to Mrs. Lillian, wherever you are. I don't know, we've never met again. We just met for that first time. Shout out to you. If it was not for you, probably I'll never know what will happen. So I was at Java now. I was having coffee. I was scheduled to do a meeting later on in the afternoon, a virtual one. Then she happened to come and sit adjacent to where I was sitting. And the restaurant seemed to be a bit full. So I had a seat opposite me that was vacant. So she came and inquired, is this seat taken? Can I sit here? So because I didn't have a voice, I was sort of like whispering. So I told her, hey, you can have a seat. So she was like, what's happening to your voice? And she moved closer. Because I was like, I've been having this issue for like 8 to 9 months now. I've never known what the real cause is. And all I remember was her face sort of like changed. Then she told me that, I lost my son recently and he had throat cancer. I almost poured the hot coffee I was drinking.
Overthinking, and now the scare is here.
I stood up, took up my bag, put my laptop in the bag, walked off. So that thing really haunted me for a long time. So I started doing research about throat cancer.
Alone too, on your own.
Alone. Causes and possible treatments, survival rate, percentage. I was really scared because anyway, we all know about cancer and the effects of cancer to sick patients or people who've experienced it before. The majority of people end up dying due to cancer. Throat, brain,
Whatever it is,
whatever
just cancer is it,
yeah,
yani.
for both men and women.
Mhm.
So I took up the leap of faith and went to Aga Khan.